One of the things about pride that really interests me is I know in Urdu they say ghurur, which is very interesting because it's taken from the Arabic, which is a kind of self-delusion, that you enter into a delusional state from Arabic. Gharur is one of the names of the devil. And then there's this idea of izzat, which in Arabic is actually a positive thing. The Quran describes the believers as having a kind of dignity and a sense of self-worth. And I think what it seems to me is that in many parts of the Muslim world, a lot of Muslims have lost that sense of civilizational pride. And I think it seems to me that what you're really trying to do in an extraordinary country with an extraordinary people is restore that pride and sense of who we are as a people.
The Quran liberates a human being when God says that there are three things that are in His hands. Number one is respect and humiliation. So you cannot be humiliated and you cannot respect unless God wills it. Number two is how much risk, in other words, how much you will, the sort of money you will have in life, how much you will make in life, that is also in God's hand. You can only strive, but He is the one who will determine how wealthy you will become. And third is life and death. That's in God's hands. So in my opinion, these three areas are which give us the greatest concern. We are scared of dying. We are scared of being humiliated or being deprived of a livelihood. So in my opinion, when you have faith, you have complete belief that the things that cause you the greatest fear are in God's hands. And therefore, you realize that only thing you have got in your hands is to struggle. Success lies in His hands, and which I've always tried to tell my political party. I've always tried to make them understand this. Because, when I came into politics, there were two things. Everyone, because there are mafias in politics, people were scared to come into politics because they were scared they would be killed or they would be beaten up by these mafias. So number one fear was actually of dying. And number two was of being humiliated because they were powerful people. They would, my character assassination in these past 20 years, the sort of things they have come out against me and all sorts of scandals and fake news to humiliate me. But the reason why I struggle all this time and for 15 years really without much success is because it was my belief that no human being can humiliate me, no matter what they say. And secondly, life and death is not in my hands. I'd built this cancer hospital and I'd seen friends of mine come in to the hospital perfectly healthy with a tumor and gone in a few months' time. So this fear of dying is also a big impediment in a human potential.